just hit record and go for it. What is up, you sexy beasts? My tribe. I'm feeling good today. It's nice to be back in the studio chatting to you all. And if you are new to this channel, my name is Wykie. It's so nice to meet you. And I'm just a dude, man. Just a dude that likes CrossFit, likes making videos, and so that's what I do here. I make videos mostly in the CrossFit space. A bit of my own training, a bit of like athlete coverage. And yeah, if you like the vibe, I would love for you to stick around, be part of the tribe. And the way you do that is by taking that subscribe button and taking it for a partner workout, like just a brutal 40-minute AMRAP partner workout. Just make friends with it, you know. And once you're done, on your way out, just give the like button a little high five, and that's how that gets done. What am I saying? What am I talking about? I'm feeling silly today. Man, my voice is great, eh? What a great voice. If you didn't know, the man's got some pipes on him. Okay, Rick Garard. So there was an interview that came out with Ricky Garard and Chase Ingram on the CrossFit Games podcast, and it's no secret that I wanted to do the interview with Ricky, but you know what? I'm so happy I didn't. I'm so glad that he did it with Chase. I don't consider myself a broadcaster or podcast host or even a great interviewer, whereas Chase is amazing at all of the above, and I think it's only right that the official interview, the comeback interview with Ricky, was done on the CrossFit Games channels. So I am completely happy with it. And in fact, you know, this channel for me has become so much more than looking for the latest CrossFit drama. You know, that was certainly a massive motivator in the early days. I knew and I saw that if I could put a video out on a current issue in the CrossFit space and I could do it fast and do it fairly well, that it gets good traction and my channel grows. But I've realized that I want this channel to be a lot more than just commentating on CrossFit events, CrossFit athletes. Although that will always be a part of this because I love CrossFit and I love the athletes. I want this channel, well, this channel is a lot more than that already. You know, it's about you guys, the tribe, you know, us growing together and sharing life together, and that's what I want it to be. I want it to be about what I do every day, my training, around the house, and if I happen to go to a cool event, or if I happen to hang out with a great athlete, then that's awesome too. By saying all of that, I do want to give my thoughts on the 1.5 hour interview with Ricky, and I suggest you go and watch that yourself. I'll link it down in the description. So if you are interested in the story, go and watch it for yourself. These are just my thoughts. Honestly, I actually went to sit down before to write down a list of everything I wanted to say about the interview and kind of bullet point it out. And then I thought, you know, stuff it. This week's actually been a bit of a deload week for me when it comes to creating content and being on YouTube. And I thought I'll just give you my honest, raw opinion. And this is what this is. It's just my opinion on the interview without overthinking it too much. So I think the interview went as good as it could have. I think Chase did a great job of kind of bringing out balanced answers. You know, I think he asked all the hard questions that people wanted to hear. But I think he also empathized with Ricky and his kind of struggles as a 22-year-old and making bad decisions and taking wrong advice. So I think it was pretty well balanced. You know, I spent a bit of time with Ricky earlier in the year, and he was pretty open about the fact that being in front of the camera and speaking publicly and doing those kind of things, it's not a strong point. And when I was with him, he mentioned that there was something that he wanted to work on with his new team, which up until now we didn't know who that was or what that was. We now know that his new coach is Justin Kotler from Underdog Athletics. And I think it's awesome that a guy like Justin has taken Ricky under his wing. It's a risk, you know, to take an athlete like Ricky into your team. It's not only a risk on your reputation and your brand, but also the other athletes that you work with. And from what I understood talking to Ricky earlier in the year is that all the other athletes that's under Justin kind of gave their permission or their blessing for Justin to work with Ricky. So I think that's pretty cool and an amazing opportunity for Ricky to have a great high profile coach with awesome athletes to take him under his wing. And actually when asked why coach Ricky Garard now, this is how Justin answered that. People will ask why. Why work with Ricky? I thought a lot about this question. I thought about my life, the mistakes I made when I was young, the people and mentors who were there for me, believed in me when no one else did. If not for them, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be the man I am, the husband, the father, the mentor, the coach. Ricky fucked up. There is no disputing this. He made a mistake at 22 years old that cost him 4 years of his livelihood. One that almost cost him everything. I thought about all these things and I said to myself, how can I not help this kid? How can I not help him change his life and get him on the path to redemption? I know many won't understand, and that's fine. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, but I've had many conversations with Ricky. He admits what he did. He knows he let the community down, his family down, and most of all, he let himself down. He wants to prove to everyone he can do things the right way. He wants to prove he can be successful and be a role model. He knows there is no room for error. There is only one way, the right way. And I know I can help him do it. And I'm excited to be part of helping Ricky rewrite his story, because it's not over yet, not by a long shot. So that's super cool. We now know who Ricky's new coach is, who the new team is that he is a part of. If you're not aware who Justin Kotler is, he is the coach of Carrie Pearce, Daniel Brandon, and also Bethany Shadbourne, also Tola. So he's got some amazing athletes under him, and they are based in Vegas. And it sounds like Ricky is planning to go to Vegas and spend time with the team after the Dubai Fitness CrossFit Championships. I don't know why, but for some reason I expected Ricky to come across differently. I thought maybe, he had some training in what to say and how to say it. But I think it was kind of cool that he was still just Ricky, I think he's really good at I think what you see is what you get. He doesn't put on a kind of like an interview voice or interview attitude or face. He is just Ricky, and he's just he just puts that out there, and I think that's cool. Yeah, I'm not sure why I expected it to be different. I guess I just thought that Ricky's had 4 years to think about these questions and answers, and being under a team now and a coach and a mentor. I know there was talk about maybe doing some media training or some, just training how to be in front of the camera, and I don't know. I just thought maybe it might be different, but I'm kind of glad that it's just Ricky, So up until yesterday, I believed and thought that Ricky and Benny were a lot more intentional about Ricky taking what I thought was steroids back in 2017. So I thought they were a lot more intentional about planning it and taking it, and then got caught. But listening to the podcast, it sounds like it was not that at all. It sounds like Ricky got given this stuff at the supplement store that he goes to, and was told that this would improve your recovery, your strength, and that he didn't really tell Benny the whole story. So Benny knew that he was taking something, and the guy at the supplement store told Ricky that it probably won't show up when you get tested. So he knew that it wasn't legit, but didn't look into it a whole lot. So it sounds like it wasn't quite as blatant as that. Not that makes it any better at all. The onus was still on Ricky as a 22-year-old. It doesn't matter what you say about being a 22-year-old, whether you were a young dumb kid or whether you say that 22 is a grown adult. It doesn't matter. You should have taken more responsibility. And honestly, I think Benny, his older brother at the time, was like his mentor or his coach. I think Benny should have asked him more questions. In fact, it kind of feels in the interview like Ricky's trying to protect Benny and not throw him under the bus. To be honest, that's what it felt like to me. When he was asked whether Benny knew about stuff, he said he knew that he was taking something suspect, but he just took Ricky's word that it wouldn't come up in testing. And I just think, I don't know, I just feel like as an older brother or as a mentor or a coach that you would ask some more questions and ask to see the supplement. So honestly, I feel like he's protecting Benny, and that Benny was probably as guilty as he was, and just kind of putting his head in the sand and not bothering, finding out more and just hoping for the best. There is definitely a few moments in the interview where it seems like Ricky is contradicting himself. Early on in the interview, Chase asks him that once he found out, before the 2017 regionals, once he found out that the supplements were suspect and that they could be illegal, did he stop taking them or did he keep taking them? And he said that he stopped. 3 days before regionals, he found out and he stopped taking them. That's what he says. And then for the rest of the interview, he says that he continued taking them throughout the season into the games. So there's definitely things like that. We're like, I thought you said you stopped taking them, but now you're saying you kept taking them. But honestly, I think that is just maybe the nerves, the nerves of the interview, and just a stage fright of knowing that you're speaking to the whole community and not quite being able to articulate what the truth is. I don't know, but there's a few moments like that where I'm like, oh, I thought you said something different before. And then, of course, the other two talking points is him throwing Matt Fraser under the bus and accusing him of doing something suspect at the games, and also not apologizing to Pat Vellner. So let's talk about the accusing of Matt Fraser first. So basically what happened was Matt Fraser was chewing tobacco, as he always does and still does. Like, that's no secret or no surprise. He does that openly, and it's pretty common knowledge. So he was chewing tobacco and spitting it into a cup while they were waiting to get tested at the 2017 games. So obviously at this point, Ricky had not found out yet that he was going to fail the test. And he went to CrossFit and said that Matt was acting suspiciously, that he was chewing something and spitting into a cup. And I think that's just typical behavior of someone that, is feeling guilty about what they've done, is to try and, show that others are doing the same thing, like surely everyone else is doing it, and this guy just won the games, maybe I can bring him down with me. I don't know what the thought process was, but I feel like that was a bit of a desperate move to make himself feel better. I don't know what the thinking behind it was, or why he felt the need to not just ask Matt, hey, what are you chewing on, or what are you spitting out, to go then. And the funny thing is, Matt's spoken about this before, that they were together at the Dubai CrossFit Champs in December of 2016, so just a few months prior to the games. They actually spent some time together at Dubai and apparently got along well, and Matt said that he liked Ricky. So it is strange that Ricky would then go behind Matt's back to CrossFit HQ and do that just a few months later. I find that quite strange. So that's a bit of a silly one. I think it would have been pretty obvious to everyone else that Matt was chewing tobacco. And like I said, that's something that's common knowledge and not a secret as such. And then the whole Pat Vellner thing, Ricky said that he didn't feel the need, that he kind of missed the bus to apologize. It's 4 years on, he doesn't feel like there's any need to still do that. And I think that's the wrong mindset. And Chase definitely challenged him on that, which was cool. Chase said that, hey, if you flip the tables, would you appreciate it if someone came to you 4 years later? And Ricky said, yes, I probably would. So I really, really, really hope that he does that, because Pat is such a stand-up guy. I consider Pat a friend, and so I would love for Ricky to make that move. Yeah, I feel like it's frustrating, because I feel like Ricky's had so much time to think about these things. He's had so much time to act differently and to make a change. And I'm like, why is Chase the one, 4 years later, on an interview, why is Chase the one to talk sense into him and to say, hey, you should probably still apologize to Pat? Why isn't someone else in his life saying that to him like way earlier? That's frustrating to me, is that no one's saying to them, hey, this is the right thing to do. Or he's not willing to do that. I don't know. There's a little bit of like frustration there. It's like, man, you've had a long time to think about what the right thing is to do and to get some good advice. So I think the major concern or question that people have is, during the 4-year ban, was he clean, or was he still using, and was he tested? And this comes up in the interview, and unfortunately it sounds like he only got tested once by CrossFit, and that is recently, like this year, a few months ago. So I think it's a major fail on CrossFit's behalf to not test him throughout his 4-year ban. But even then, as an athlete, if I was banned for 4 years and decided that I was going to come back clean, I would probably do some independent tests, or I would probably get tested on my own account regularly, just to have that evidence to be able to show that, hey, I got tested 10 times in the last 4 years and they all came back clean. So yeah, I don't know, major fail from CrossFit to not test him, and also opportunity missed for Ricky to show his legitimacy and not test himself. Next week, Ricky is doing the qualifying events for Wodapalooza. I think maybe it's the top 20 that qualify. So that's going to be interesting to see if he qualifies, which will mean he'll do Dubai, go to Vegas, hang out with the team, and then go to Wodapalooza. I actually went to Flight Centre yesterday to look at flights to Dubai and also to Wodapalooza in January. Dubai is out for sure. There's no flights back from Dubai till the 10th of January, even though the event's in December, so I would miss Christmas and New Year's with the family. And there's only first class flights, so like nine and a half grand. So Dubai's out, unfortunately, but there is some economy flights to Wadapalooza, to Miami in January. So that's looking pretty likely. So yeah, guys, I think that's my thoughts on that interview. Overall, I think it was good. I think Ricky did his best. He came clean. He admitted. He took the ownership. And for that, I commend you, Ricky. Chase did a great job. And yeah, I think it's cool for this stuff to happen now, so that once competition starts, the kind of sting of it's been taken out by the interview and just other people talking about it, like James Newbury. Actually, James Newbury gave me a fright last night. He posted something about Ricky, but the heading to the post was "Time to let go." And my first thought was, that's it. James is retiring, he's done. And got really sad there for a moment. But then the post is all about Ricky and James kind of, I guess, forgiving him and letting go of that grudge. He talks about how unhealthy it is for the soul to kind of hold on to grudges. It's definitely a worthwhile post, so go and check it out. It's on James Newbury's Instagram post. But yeah, stuff like that, where athletes that competed with him at the 2017 games, athletes that are close to people like Vellner, friends with Vellner, to come out and say, regardless of everything, we still feel like the best thing to do is to forgive and to give a second chance, which is the boat that I'm in, and you guys know that. So anyway, interesting story, see how it plays out. Lots of exciting stuff to keep an eye on over the coming months. But what's really exciting? The fact that you guys are a bunch of sexy beasts. And go out there, keep roaring love. And next week, I'm going to be back in a big way. I've been thinking about the channel a lot, the quality of it, the content of it, everything about the channel. I've been thinking about it heaps, and I want to, not change things, but I want to tighten things up a little bit. And I'm excited for it, very excited. Okay, team, much love. Mwah.